Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today to hear a little bit about our JD MBA collaborative degree program at the University of Buffalo. My name is Rebecca Mueller, and I am the Assistant Director of Recruitment, and I am joined today by my counterpart over in the law school. Kate, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Kate Szymanszek. I'm the Manager for Recruitment and International Enrollment with the School of Law.
Excellent. So just a little bit about the timeline if you are looking to do both of these programs. If admitted into both the JD as well as the MBA program, you will start by taking the MBA core, which is a full year, before you enroll in your law courses. So after you complete the first year of the MBA program, you enroll in law and complete your remaining MBA electives and capstone during those remaining law years. So it'll be a total of 4 years.
And I'd just like to add that this program is only available for our traditional JD students. We do not open this up to any of our advanced or accelerated program applicants.
So to get started, we're going to talk a little bit about the MBA program itself. Then I'll pass it back over to Kate. She's going to talk specifically about the JD program. We'll talk a little bit about our admissions processes and then open the floor for any questions that you may have. So let's get started by talking about the foundation of the UB MBA experience, some highlights, and how you'll gain the expertise that really empowers a lifetime of personal, professional, and purposeful growth. So over in the School of Management, we're really aiming to maximize your return on investment with foundation building core courses and career targeted electives. So our curriculum was developed from input from corporate recruiters, alumni, faculty, staff, and career experts. And our MBA core curriculum focuses on a breadth of management courses to provide you with the skills and knowledge to be a successful manager in any industry. And during your MBA core year, our students are part of a diverse cohort as well as a small team who will work together across all classes. And then in addition to course and teamwork, most MBA students will choose to engage in other action learning opportunities like Leader Corps, global programs, case competitions, clubs, and more. Okay, so then beyond the core curriculum lies an opportunity to actually define your career goals and dive deeper into one of our 9 concentrations. So if you want to apply learning and connect theory and practice with a sense of purpose along with one of these specific concentrations, you can do that as well. Now, it's important to note that some students will select one concentration, others will choose 2, and some don't declare a concentration at all, instead choosing to take classes from various concentrations. Now, when it comes to our action learning, employers are consistently describing a need for strong critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Foundational technical skills may be important, but a candidate's ability to attack a problem with creativity, insight, and curiosity is what really makes them stand out. And that's how we emphasize an experiential approach to learning, so that you can practically apply the theory and learn by doing. So action learning actually begins at orientation. So before you even set foot in the classroom, you're going to really get prepared to think critically, expand your team building skills. And this all happens prior to classes even starting and continues throughout your program. So you'll participate in the orientation, which we call MBA Advantage. Then there's some opportunities that really help differentiate UB's MBA from other MBA programs. One of them is the Corporate Champions program, which begins in your first semester and is an extensive and powerful program that provides you with the practical opportunity to immediately apply your knowledge, positively impacting actual companies and the community ecosystem. Now, Corporate Champions are representatives from organizations across the Western New York area who partner with teams of first semester UB MBA students to help strengthen their understanding of the world of business and their connection to it. So you can really benefit from the insights, learning lab environment, and access to senior leadership provided by the Corporate Champions program from the network of involved companies. Another good opportunity is what's called MBA Leader Corps. Now, MBA Leader Corps is both a certification as well as a micro-credential. It's an award-winning program that is selective for personal and professional development that runs concurrently, again, with your time in the MBA program. So first, you're undergoing a rigorous assessment to identify the competencies that you wish to strengthen, and then create a customized personal development plan. Then you're working with our team of faculty, staff, external coaches, alumni, really working on engaging in a learning environment focused on theory, practical application, and personal experiences that will help prepare you for future leadership roles. Another opportunity is the CoLab. This is a campus-based entrepreneurship and innovation center that empowers students to realize solutions for the global and local challenges of our time. So this is actually part startup incubator and part idea sharing center, and connects students and mentors, events, funding, and experiences that help to cultivate the skills and mindset to build successful companies or innovate competitively in careers within any organization. Then another one I would like to highlight is global programs. This is really an extension of action learning. They're faculty-led short-term global programs that help prepare you to lead in today's business world and develop both the global and diversity mindset you need to succeed. So you can meet new people, visit businesses and cultural sites to really help showcase your experience to potential employers. Best of all, thanks to the hybrid nature of just the specific global programs opportunity, you can participate from anywhere in the world. So all of our global and US experiences include a credit-bearing virtual program, as well as optional travel to the program's destination. Now, those are just a handful of action learning opportunities that our students choose to take advantage of, but there are so many more. Another piece that's really important when you're thinking about your career journey is really the Career Resource Center. What kind of resources do we have available for you? Well, a Career Resource Center always likes to say, begin with the end in mind. So again, before you even set foot on campus, just like you do with orientation, kind of getting all that information ahead of time and starting the process, you're also starting the process with the Career Resource Center before you even start classes. They're engaged and committed to your success. So this is great because they offer individualized coaching and career services to help you to define and achieve your goals. They have programming to make the most of your UB experience and learn about today's job market and develop the competencies for winning interviews. You can also take advantage of BizLink. This is an online career management system brought to you by our Career Resource Center for the exclusive use of School of Management students only. And then you'll also have access to virtual power chats, and power chats allow you to connect with alumni and business leaders and ask your questions. So you can hear about their career path, current work, and receive career advice from experienced professionals. So that being said, I'm going to pass it over to Kate, and she's going to talk to you all about the School of Law.
Yes, I'm very excited to tell you all about the School of Law. We're very proud here at the School of Law to welcome future UB graduates. So here's how we facilitate real-world experiences. So we're going to get into some of the points of what make UB Law unique. We are the only law school in the SUNY system, which means that we are the only official state university school with a law capacity. So we're going to get into some of those details today, including admissions points. So as I mentioned previously, we are the only law school in the state university system. When we speak state university system, we mean affordable tuition rates. We have some of the highest return on investment in the area, especially considering that we are one of 3 in the immediate region. We also have an excellent ranking and have been really working to deliver strong outcomes to our JD students. So let's talk a little bit about what a JD curriculum looks like. So the JD curriculum is everything that you need to successfully sit for your New York State bar examination, but also to learn the practical skills that are actually embodied by practicing attorneys. So we have, as you can see, several of our core classes listed. One of our great strengths is our lawyer program. It's a 3-year intensive writing program that all students participate in. But we also have trial advocacy technique classes, a competition program. We teach non-litigation skills, appellate advocacy skills, and we have a very robust academic support and professional development built right into the curriculum. So many people wonder, when I go to law school, do I have to have a major? Which is a great question. The answer is no. You can graduate with just your standard JD. But if you know that you have a practice area that you would like to focus on and specialize in, you're welcome to graduate with a concentration or with an emphasis on a curricular program. So we have a vast variety of offerings in these regions, including advocacy, criminal law, cross-border legal studies, family law, intellectual property and privacy law, international law, environmental law, finance and development, and sports law. We often like to say that we have the advantage of being a state school and that we attract some premier researchers as faculty to emphasize their specific areas of the law. So you have access to incredible resources when it comes to faculty and curricular opportunities. Another very important element of your law school experience is your access to clinical legal education. We currently have 5 active clinics, and we are in the process of developing more, but those are TBD. So as of right now, we have a civil rights and transparency clinic, a criminal justice advocacy clinic, entrepreneur law center clinic, family violence and women's rights clinic, and a mediation clinic. This means that you as a student will be actively participating as a practicing attorney under the license of a bar registered attorney. So you get to handle the client's needs and work directly with your team to achieve the outcomes for these clients. Okay, so another really important element of law school is the way that you're actually able to participate in a meaningful way in the community through local externships. These could be with our partnership organizations or judicial externships. And as you can see, we have a wide variety of opportunities. I believe that we have over 140 opportunities with around 65 that are active at present. These are the ways that you can get your active external credits for bar eligibility. And you work directly with the Office of Externships to choose the one that you think would be best for you and for your job outcomes. Most of our students really enjoy working in their externship position as it enriches the community, but it also gives them some practical hands-on experience. So here's how you engage with classmates and future colleagues. Your network is very important. So we like to say that we are an extremely collaborative environment. There are so many opportunities for engagement within the law school community, but it's up to the individual students to choose how they want to be involved. We have active law journals. These are ways to promote your research and have them published through the university's law journal. We have moot courts and mock trials. These are very competitive and very exciting opportunities to participate in the mock and moot court world. And we also have a very active student bar association with, I believe, currently 17, so we have to update, student organizations. So another very important aspect of law school is career outcomes. So we provide the tools for career advancement. So our career service offices is going to be one of your home away from homes at law school. We are very proud to say that our career service advisors know all of our students by name and work very closely as soon as possible to begin to discover what you hope to achieve when you graduate from law school. You don't have to know this right away, but we are certainly here to help. So some of the things that are offered by the Career Service Office are individual career counseling, mock interviews. They host an online job portal with job postings. There's a mentor program where they match you with a member of the community who is working in the field as an attorney. There is also a match with current students so they can help to mentor you as you're navigating this process of being a law student. They host many career panels and programs, New York State Public Defender's Job Fair, and an annual career fair. We're also very proud right now of our career outcomes. We are currently at around 94% job placement, but we actually like to say we are at 100% for the people who want to have jobs. Some people chose to further their education or take a little break before joining the professional world. but we are doing great with job outcomes, and that's something that you could feel confident about if you chose University of Buffalo School of Law. So if you're thinking about this combined program, what kind of jobs would that lead to? So as you can see, we have a very extensive list of local and national employers who hire people with this specific background. As you can imagine, it's kind of the best of both worlds in that you will have a background in that MBA curriculum, as well as the practical legal skills that come with having a JD degree.
Great. And we hope that kind of gave you a good idea as to what each program kind of offers. So I do want to just go into what the application process looks like. So I'm going to start first by going into the MBA admissions, and then Kate will talk a little bit about the JD admissions, because just as a reminder, you must submit a separate application and be admitted to both the School of Law and the School of Management. So they are completely different application processes. So when it comes to the MBA program, some critical dates here that you'll want to kind of consider. Now, there's a lot of dates here. So you can get your application in really anytime between now and really June 1st if you're a U.S. citizen to do this. But I would recommend getting your application in sooner rather than later. Especially, you'll see here some of the key points I'd like to point out is January 15th. That is a great deadline if you want to be considered for the priority deadline for scholarship consideration. So again, applications are open. You can get your application in well before January 15th and still be considered. A lot of times the way that our scholarship process works is you are first you get your admissions decision, and then scholarship decisions aren't typically released until February or end of February, early March. A lot of times, and all of our scholarships are strictly merit-based. So there's no additional application. Everything is looked at just in the one academic application. If you are an international student, you just want to make sure that you're keeping an eye on the final international deadline. But again, we'll keep applications open until June 1st, but we do encourage applying earlier. In terms of the application process itself, the first thing that you need to do is complete and submit your online application. You can apply right from our website. And this really serves as your dashboard for all of your application pieces. This is going to be where you view your checklist, upload your documents, and ultimately be able to view your admissions decision. And our admissions committee does review applications holistically. So everything that you see here, we are going to be looking at when it comes to the decision-making process. There is an application fee of $100. And unfortunately, the School of Management does not offer waivers of graduate application fees. There are some categorical exceptions made by the university, but it's only for those applicants who can provide sufficient documentation of their participation in one of the following. One of them would be if you were an undergraduate student in the EOP, HEOP, or SEEK program within New York State only. If you were an undergraduate participant in the C-STEP, MARC, PrEP, RISE, LSAMP, or McNair Scholar program on any campus. If you were an applicant through Project 1000, AmeriCorps, or if you were an applicant with a U.S. military or veteran status, or if you are the applicant who is a spouse of a U.S. veteran. So these are the only categorical exceptions that can be made. If you fall into one of those exceptions, please feel free to reach out, and I'd be happy to let you know what it is that we need in order to get that application fee waived for you. Now, when it comes to transcripts, you must upload transcripts for each college and university that you listed in your application. So transcripts for all undergraduate credits, including transfer credits, earned towards your undergraduate degree, must be uploaded for admissions consideration. Now, copies can be uploaded for admissions consideration, but if you're admitted, students must request their college or university send official conferred transcripts to our office. When it comes to the resume length should be approximately 1 page. It can be a little bit longer if you need it to be, but make sure that you're including relevant education and work experience, as well as the months and years of employment. Going back to talking about the School of Management Career Resource Center, if you're struggling at all with your resume or how you think you should format it, they have a really great, fantastic resume preparation tool on their website. So I encourage you to check that out as well. When it comes to personal statements, there are 2 personal statements that are required for the MBA program. The first prompt has you include your reasons for pursuing the MBA degree and your career aspirations. I would also highly recommend, if you want to do the JD MBA program, that you indicate why you want to do that combined program. What do you think is the benefit for you for that? Then there's another topical response that you'll get to choose from 3 different responses, and you get to just write your essay based on that. So make sure that you're uploading those as PDFs, and you want to make sure that those document lengths are around 700 words, just to give you an estimate. When it comes to the GMAT and GRE, we are test optional for both of these exams, but you are welcome to upload your scores with your application if you chose to take them. They do help strengthen an application and can help you in terms of scholarship consideration as well. But again, it is not a requirement. Now, for those of you who may be international students, the best course of action with this is really just to reach out to me if you fall into this category. And I can walk you through more of what this looks like. But we'll talk about eligibility, making sure that you have a completed academic program equivalent to a U.S. bachelor's degree before you enroll. There's an English language proficiency requirement for those who are not native speakers of English. We can talk about transcripts. We don't require WES or ECE evaluations. We do all of that conversion in-house. Making sure you provide a proof of degree or provisional certificate. Financial documentation is important if you're looking for that I-20 or visa issuance. Passport photo is also required. So again, this is something that we'll dive into a lot more when you are, if you fall into this category and you reach out. So a little bit about tuition and funding for MBA, and Kate actually touched on this a little bit earlier. UB is an excellent investment. When you're investing in your education, you're investing in your future, and it's really hard to find a better value than UB. We are New York's flagship, and as a public university, our tuition is only a fraction of the cost of attending a private college or university of comparable quality and opportunity. We're also ranked number 25 most affordable university in the U.S. We have a low cost of living here in Western New York. We have graduate assistantship opportunities. And as you heard from both Kate and I, you have career support in both schools, both the School of Management and the law school. So you're getting really double the amount of resources to help you solidify your life after graduation. So tuition and fees are subject to change at the discretion of the university, but this information has been updated as of July 2024. I'm inputting here just really what your first year looks like, because how it typically works is you're doing 1 year with us, and then depending on where you go, 1 year with us, and then you have your law school. And then when you're taking elective courses and law school courses, whichever one you're taking more of tends to be the tuition rate that you're paying. So this is going to be approximately what the tuition cost will be for you that first year in the MBA program. So again, this is not going to be for your whole 4 years, but it just kind of gives you what your first year could look like in terms of tuition and fees. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier, we do have some opportunities to enhance our already competitive tuition. We award scholarships, fellowships, and assistantships for outstanding, highly motivated students. All of our scholarships are merit-based and may be funded for full or partial tuition. And all applicants are considered for scholarships that fall under the UB School of Management umbrella during the admissions process. So again, there's no additional application for scholarship consideration. Now, when it comes to incoming and current MBAs that are seeking out graduate student teaching and research assistantships, those are offered during every semester in a competitive process to a select number of qualified full-time students. These students assist with school or university administration, can teach or undertake research with faculty members. And although responsibilities can vary based on assignment, assistants are generally working 20 hours per week. So these graduate and teaching assistants do receive a stipend plus tuition scholarship. And if accepted to the university, you would gain access to our online portals that allow you to explore and apply for assistantships campus-wide. So any type of assistantship, those are not awarded through the admissions process. Those you apply for separately if admitted. But we do encourage you to check out the QR code there that takes you to our Funding Your Degree website at the UB School of Management, and it can give you more information on graduate funding. But that being said, I'm going to pass it back over to Kate to talk about the law school admissions.
Sure. So law school admissions can be daunting, but we're definitely here to demystify the process and give you all of the key tips that you need to have a successful application. So it's very important when you're applying to make sure that you're eligible for admission. So you must have a baccalaureate degree or a bachelor's degree. And we do require a standardized test in the form of an LSAT or a GRE. Give yourself the time to get the score that you want to apply for the program, because it is something that we take into consideration when we are doing our holistic review. Another really important thing to think about is that we are on a national application. So you have to create an account through lsac.org, where our application lives, and all of your materials will be sent and uploaded directly through LSAC. So that means that your transcripts will be requested and sent directly to LSAC. Your letters of recommendation will be uploaded directly to LSAC. And we'll also be looking for the specific University of Buffalo E application, which will include your personal statement and your professional resume. So as I alluded, all of our documents come through LSAC. You need to make an account through LSAC. That's the first thing that you can do. Make this account, become acclimated with the interface, and start to figure out how to get your application collated on lsac.org. It's all free. We do have a cost associated with our application and a cost associated with LSAC collating all of your application materials. That's called the CAS report, but it's a one-time fee that's associated with applying to any law school. So another thing to think about is the timing of this application. Our applications go live on September 1st, and we begin to review our early decision applications on November 15th. Early decision is a binding application. So that means that if you apply early decision and you are admitted, we expect you to enroll in the following cohort. We do receive and release all of our decisions by December 15th. So if you were in this early decision pool, you would know your status by December 15th. From December 15th on, we begin a rolling review of applications. And we recommend that students have their applications in by March 1st, as this is the FAFSA priority deadline. And also, this is when we start to dwindle in our scholarship dollars. So give yourself a chance to have more access to scholarships and more seats in the class and have your application in by March 1st, if you can. Our tuition deposit deadline is April 15th. And our housing deposit, which goes through central housing, is May 10th. Sometimes they can adjust this if it's a particularly high demand year. You might get a week or two extra, but plan for May 10th. And then finally, if you are a transfer student seeking admission, we ask that you have your applications in by July 1st. So when you're thinking about this application, you may want to compare yourself to our previous classes. This is our profile of the class that we welcomed last year, with many of our medians. So we had approximately 141 students from all around the world. We do have an excellent international program where we bring in both foreign trained attorneys and brand new JD candidates. But some very important numbers are our median LSAT, which is a 156. So that's very much in the middle of the applicants that we saw and who were successfully offered admission to this program. With our 75th percentile looking like a 153 to a 159. We had a 3.72 median GPA. And as you can see, we had all different ages of people join us, with a huge amount of majors represented, over 40, and more than 50 colleges represented. So when you're thinking about how do I stack up to UB law students, this is what you're really looking at. So if you were offered admission, you might want to think about, where am I going to live? We do have professional accommodations on campus. Many of our law students like to live in the Flint Village because it's just quite literally across the walkway. But there's also other opportunities available, such as the Creekside Village or many private apartments within striking distance of the university. And most of them offer a shuttle service as well, if you're concerned about having a car and access to campus. We have a ton of resources for housing available on our website. with recommendations from current students and a practical housing flyer that breaks down lots of specific options in the area. So do check that out. Tuition and fees. So as I mentioned previously, we are a state school. If you have New York State residency, you will be billed at a residence tuition rate of around $26,000 with some programming fees that come from the Central University. If you are not a resident, or perhaps you're an international student, you are billed slightly higher at $31,160. We do expect that these could change at any time, but it's usually a nominal amount of change. So this would be roughly what you would be expecting to pay should you join our class. An important thing to think about is that most of our students, I believe 85% of our incoming class last year had a scholarship, and it was roughly $8,000 in scholarship. But those numbers fluctuate, so it could be more depending on the holistic review of your application.
And then we do encourage you to reach out to our student ambassadors. We have both MBA student ambassadors as well as law student ambassadors, some that actually cross over and do both. I know on our side, we definitely have some JD MBAs, both current students as well as alumni who are more than happy to assist you with any questions that you may have. Kate and I are always here to talk you through the admissions process, but sometimes there's nothing better than talking to a current student themselves. So that being said, just a reminder that our contact information is here. So please feel free to reach out at any time if you've got questions about the MBA or the JD or the combined collaborative degree program as well. So thank you all so much for taking some time today to hear about our programs, and we hope to hear from you soon. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.